This is Dave Moss of BIC Trikes. Once again, we're having to fix a Safer Wholesalers Outlaw kit. And as you can see, they don't put any suspension on them. So I have to cut this off, and we're gonna add these Dexter 425-pound axles on each side. And so we're gonna have to cut them out, put a bar, put another one of these over here, and do what we normally do. And this is gonna go on a Yamaha Royal Star. And one of the big problems I have is this thing's only gonna be about 56 inches wide. Really needs to be 60 inches wide, so it's gonna pick up on the tires because it's a heavy bike a little more than I like, but the customer wants to use this frame, so we're gonna use it. Let you know now, if you're doing this, once again, and we add suspensions, it is $1,500 for us to cut this out, put the brackets in that you need, bolt on the suspension, and then build the normal brackets for the bike, including the fenders. And another note, they sent them 15-inch fenders, plastic fenders, with 12-inch tires. So the customer had to buy some cheap 13-inch rims and tires because he's put almost all his money into this thing. And then we're going to use the 15-inch. They're just going to be a little bit bigger than what they're supposed to be, but we're going to make it work. So we'll show a video of us doing the work and then when it's done. But this is why you don't buy a Safer Wholesale. They don't care about the product. They're just throwing it out there. They sent 12-inch rims and tires with 15-inch fenders. There's no way that would work. 12-inch tires won't even work. So we're having to do a lot. This customer had already spent almost $3,000, and now he's having to spend another $1,500. So once again, like I said, if we do the suspension, it's $1,500. If we're just doing the brackets, one of these, it's $800. So keep that in mind. This is for everybody that's looking at buying a Safer Wholesaler. I've got a bunch of videos why you don't buy a Safer Wholesaler. What do you get when you get a Safer Wholesaler? Watch those videos. Do your research. Don't even buy mine without doing the research. I got tons of videos. We've got plenty of feedback. So do your research, because you're talking about something that literally your life is in the frame's hands. And if it's like this thing here, then it's dangerous. Now we're going to make it safe. We'll get it fixed, and we're going to do what Safer Wholesaler says it's supposed to do and keep it safe instead of their unsafe stuff. But it's just really sad. Matter of fact, you could get a DIY shippable kit, which has more than this does for me. It actually has suspension that you'd bolt on. You'd have this thing and you'd roll it underneath the frame because the brackets they send you are worthless. You can't use them. You'd have to build the brackets yourself, just like you would have to on this thing. And you're looking at $1,300 plus shipping. So it will beat their price, under $2,000 usually. And you got a better frame, a better setup, and you're able to build the brackets and have a thing. Of course, you can always bring it down to us for $2,650. What he paid $2,750 for this, I think he said. For $100 less, he could have got one of my kits that would have been powder coated frame, which he painted the frame. That's why it looks shiny. It doesn't come painted King's Prime, just a black flat primer on it. It came with a powder coated frame, aluminum rims and tires, black plastic fenders like what he got, except not 15s. They would be actually 13s for the thing. Built and installed. You'll be able to road it home for what he paid for this thing. And he's having to spend another, $1,500. So do your research and such. Like I said, we're going to show what we're doing and what it's coming out like. So we're going to cut these off. And then once I get these cut off, get the new plates put in and the brackets put in, we'll show what it looks like when I'm finished. And once again, there's one other problem they have is these things are about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom. If you measure to the top, it's 1/4 of an inch. So when we go to square this off, it won't be square, but we'll split the difference and make it as square as we can. I can't do nothing about that. Ours come out straight every time. We have a system. It took me a year to come up with a system that every time we weld it, by the way we tack and the way we weld it, comes out straight. They just weld them together as quick as possible. So you get all kinds of warps and ins and outs, and you never know from one frame to the next. I had one that was in, this one's out, so you never know from one Safer Wholesaler to another. So like I said, we're going to show what we're doing. Do your research. Don't buy one of these. Don't get conned. They don't have no suspension. You built it in, and it's going to be a hardtail. So we'll go ahead and get us going, and we'll show you what it looks like when we're done. So here we are fixing that Outlaw kit, and of course the first thing we'll show, that side we just took the suspension off, knocked it off. I still got to take that plate out. This side I'm showing the plate being out, so I cut the plate out, I beat it off and get it all completely out of there, and then this here wasn't welded at all, so I weld across that and then grind these down. Then I add my piece of metal here, grind it down, because then we're going to add a plate, and then after adding our plate we'll add our suspension holder. And what happens is suspension comes back like this. It'll end up landing exactly where they had their suspension coming out. So that's how we end up getting it exactly where they had it. It's not where I'd put it. I like mine 14 inches back, a little bit farther back, but this isn't my frame to build, so we just make it land where they had it at. Because as you can see, if you look across there, you see exactly where that was at. It was right before. Once we get the suspension on here, it comes up, angles out, it'll be right there. Okay, I wanted to show this real quick. We got the other side done, as you can see. It's nice and welded up, solid. And I wanted to show you what they did. I knocked that piece of metal out right here. You can see they didn't weld this. And then this is something that happened. And I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's no weld in there. There's just a tack. That's it. No weld at all in that space. I want to weld that up. And then this is the one I cut and put on here, and I'll weld it down, 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 and over the top. Fortunately, I can't get to the back end, but it'll be solid enough, especially with the metal going across it like that. But I just wanted to show how, I don't know, how little they try to do on these frames. Not only do they not put a suspension on it, but they don't really worry about welds. They don't want this thing to be solid. They don't really care. Just to get it out as quick as possible. Once again, you can tell by the welds, they're not going across good. They got undercut all on them. They're not the best looking welds in the world. When you grind them down, you have to grind down low. They got high and low spots like you wouldn't believe. And you know, you see my other videos where I showed if you take this metal off and you flip it over, they literally left it undercut all the way across, which means that's where it'll break at. So I just wanted to show what you get, and you get a safer wholesale, and what we have to deal with and how we fix them. Okay, here's the frame fully done, and as you can see, and these here is where the suspension we bolted up to. So we pull those bolts out, pull my fixturing off, and then bolt the new suspension on. We'll roll it up underneath the bike and then start building the brackets. But just wanted you to see. So what we do, of course, is we add another 1.25 inch square tube, 1/8 inch thick. We add a 1/4 inch flat bar steel on there, and then we add the C channel that has the nuts that are welded into it. So you just bolt it right up to it. Both sides, they're all both exactly the same distance from the front end, and they're squared as we can get it, because the frame does pitch out 1/4 inch, but still overall looks pretty good. That really, believe it or not, makes this thing a lot more solid. If you put this on without this being done, it could twist a little bit. This right here solids this whole thing up so it won't twist like this. That's one of the things that they mess up. They put one bar, and literally I had one that came to me when I built it, and they already had it on the bike. I showed the difference between ours and theirs, and it would twist like this, just because of the mere fact they only had one bar. Then they had that same look, but it was the suspension, that big Dexter suspension we're using. They had it just welded in 3 spots, and there was nothing to really sturdy it up. So this does sturdy up the frame quite well. So this will be a lot stiffer frame and not flex as much. Once again, I still don't like the idea that they have open ends. They put these welds here. They look like they might have done. Nope, there's no real welds there. I take that back. They didn't weld it. I was hoping that they'd weld these. Only top and bottom. Not the greatest idea on that. So that's not really that sturdy, but as far as their welds, but our welds will hold up. Like I said, when we do this, we warranty our welds. We don't warranty anything they do, but we warranty ours. So when it breaks, like we had one that broke back there, the guy called me up as a Safer Outlaw kit, and I said I'd fix it, but it cost him because that's not our welds. He brought it in. We fixed it and had to charge him for it because, once again, we warranty our welds. Our welds hold up. But we'll go ahead and get this built onto this bike, and you can see what it looks like when it's all together and put on right. So here we are with the Safer Wholesale's Outlaw kit that I bracketed and fixed, and just going to show it real quick. We were showing you what all we have to do, and as you can see, I welded a peg in for them. It's completely bracketed. Now, like I said, they ordered it and got 12-inch tires, so I had to go buy new tires with 15-inch fenders. So the fenders are a little bit big, but still didn't come out that long. And then you'll notice that it's farther out than what mine would be. That's just Safer Wholesale. That's what they do. They don't care about what it's supposed to be on the rims of tires. They just simply throw it on there and send it out, and if it works, it works. If it don't. They don't really care. Matter of fact, I don't think they ever plan on you putting these things together, as bad as the craftsmanship is on it. But so once again, we can fix, we can build the brackets for your Outlaw kit from Safer Wholesalers. You can call me at 765-242-6651 if you have any questions or you need to place an order. Also hit like, subscribe, we'd appreciate it. Leave us a comment. Been getting those. I do appreciate all the comments. And then you can go to bictrikes.com, check out our price list, and you can also check out our merch. We got shirts, sweatshirts, and etc. We're trying to get our brand out there, so if you see anything you like, be sure to pick that up. We do appreciate all the support we get. Once again, BIC stands for Brothers in Christ, where Jesus Christ gets all the glory. Thank you so much, and God bless.